Is it possible to revive a dead personal brand and turn it into a 6-figure per year cash flow machine? I believe that the answer is yes, but only if you fix the right problem. This is my client Chick. He's a fitness coach with over 145,000 followers, and yet he was barely making any money. But that's odd, right? Most people think that if you have more followers, the more money you're gonna make. But Chick has been stuck with these problems for months now. He's getting barely any inbound leads, and the inbound leads that he is getting are young, broke followers who can barely afford his coaching. So we hopped on a call, and in this video, we're gonna go over the 5 biggest things that we're fixing in order to revive his personal brand in the next 30 days. All right, the key to reviving his personal brand is obviously to fix the content. So the first problem that we attacked was his content attracting fans, but not buyers. Like I said earlier, most people think that if you get tons of views, tons of followers, you're gonna make tons of money. But the truth is, most of the videos that get that many types of views, you're gonna attract people that are never gonna buy from you. And so if you do get a 1 million viewed video and you get maybe 10,000 followers from that one video, chances are 90% of those followers are not going to buy your program. Some examples in the fitness space are when people just show their physique. Well, yes, it's inspiring and you should show it off. If that's the bulk of your content, you're going to be attracting a much younger audience. So here's the fix that we did for Chick. What I told him to do is just stop copying the, flexing type of content. Instead, what he should do is use this 2-part strategy. First, he'll be posting broader type of content. Not super broad that it will get millions of views, but broad enough that it will attract people similar to who he wants to get as a client. By the way, if you don't know what an ICP is, it's your dream client. And then the second part is the people that followed, they'll watch the second part of his content. The second part will be story-based, nurturing, educational, things that position Chick as the authority. This will filter out the unqualified followers from the qualified ones. Basically, you always want to be making content for your ICP. You want to be making content for the person that has the problem that your business solves. So for example, if you're trying to help middle-aged men who are trying to lose weight, you should be making content only for that specific audience, for that specific person. Even though Chick did make a lot of content that attracted a lot of young, unqualified followers, oftentimes he did get a couple qualified ones, and yet he still was not making any money. Here's why. He was avoiding his DMs. A lot of coaches hate talking in their DMs. They hate having to go through all of their followers and looking at all the qualified ones, messaging every single one. It's just a lot of time that they don't have, and also they just can't be asked to do it. And when they do try to talk to these qualified followers, it's in this really salesy, inauthentic type of way. They don't respond because they know they're going to be in a sales funnel, in a sales process. So here's the solution that I proposed to Chick. Number 1, he has to understand that he has to send out DMs. Now, if he wanted to, he could go out and hire a VA or an appointment setter, somebody to actually go and type out messages to these followers. So I personally wouldn't recommend it, but it is a method. Now, once he understands that he does need to send out these DMs, what he should do instead of sending out text messages is sending out voice messages. Voice messages make it extremely authentic, extremely personable, especially if you say the person's name. And you don't want to make it salesy either. You can keep it simple like this. Hey name, thanks for following. Are you here to enjoy the content or looking to build the specific goal, whether it's losing weight or building muscle? Either way, I appreciate you following me. So here's what I did for one of my other clients that used this exact method. What he did was he sent out voice messages to all of his qualified followers, and he asked if they could send one of 2 emojis, either a waving emoji to let him know that they were just watching the content just to watch the content, and in that case, he sent over something for free, or 2, send over a bicep emoji to let him know that they were interested in his offer. And the best part was the entire thing was completely automated. The only thing he really had to do was just send the voice messages, which doesn't take that long. Now, if you want the complete automation, just DM me on Instagram automation and I'll send over a template that I use on ManyChat. You can easily send like 10 voice messages per day. It doesn't have to be very much. And the goal is to open the chat and open the dialogue and just be a normal human being, not a sales rep. The next problem was on the content side. And if you're also trying to make content to grow your business, grow your coaching business, you need to pay attention to this next thing. And if you don't implement this, most likely you're not going to stick with content for very long. The issue Chick had here was he had no structure for his videos, whether it was YouTube or short form. All he did was have the idea, maybe have a hook, and then just raw dog it to the camera. And you know, he knows a lot about fitness, so it makes sense why he would do that. Plus, he wanted to keep his content more authentic. The only problem is that his retention was destroyed, because what would happen is he would get on camera and just start rambling and rambling and even though his videos were super valuable, nobody was watching them. So here's what we did to fix it. What I'm about to tell you is the structure that we made for his newest video that's going to be coming out soon. So he wanted to make a video about the 2 different types of confidence, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it fits in his ICP, so he's already on the right path. So to make the video interesting, I titled the video, "What Most People Get Wrong About Confidence." Notice how I made the video more interesting than just 2 different types of confidence. Nobody cares about that. But when you hear what most people get wrong about confidence, an emotion called FOMO starts to arise. The fear of missing out, the fear of not knowing of, oh, there's multiple different types of confidences. Is confidences even a word? The fear of missing out on this information is what's going to make somebody click. So we titled the video, "What Most People Get Wrong About Confidence." Now here's exactly how we structured the video. First, the hook. For the hook, we confirmed the click by addressing the title almost immediately. So for example, Chick would literally say, "This is what most people get wrong about confidence." And the answer to that is there are 2 types of confidence instead of just 1. The next part was the first solution, or in this case, the first type of confidence. Now here he would just talk about his expertise, yada yada, right? But after that, he would have a soft CTA. A soft CTA is something that has no commitment. They just maybe have to put their email in and they get something for free. Make sure that this is actually valuable. If it's not valuable, nobody's gonna actually opt in for it. Create that sense of FOMO again, or a sense of ease. For example, if you're talking about something that's really, really difficult, give them a freebie that makes it easier. After that, we transition to the next point with a transition hook. You can't just go from part 1, part 2 without anything in the middle to bridge that gap. So for example, in this video, we said without point 2, point 1 is useless. After that, we just talked about point 2, which is just the second type of confidence. And again, we did another transition hook into the next point, which is a hard CTA, pitching your full coaching program. Now, hopefully throughout the video, you've built up some sort of emotion, whether that's hype or fear, to your program. Because if there's no emotion built up, most people are not going to take action. Then I told him to keep the videos around 10 to 15 minutes, and he can use bullet points. Just make sure the bullet points are more structured. As long as each section, each bullet point flows to the next one, then it's okay to use bullet points. All right, the next problem that I fixed for Chick is probably the most underrated problem. Like literally no one on the internet talks about this. And that problem was that his brand looked generic. He didn't have some sort of brand identity. His thumbnails on YouTube just didn't have an overall theme, and he was just copying other creators or copying other trends. So what I did to fix this is build him a color brand palette, which in this case is building something that would fit his program, but also colors that he would actually like. Then I told him to use a consistent thumbnail format. There are tons and tons of YouTube videos that have different types of themes, formats, so you can literally just take a look at your YouTube homepage, your YouTube recommended, and just take different parts of different styles and create your own. Basically, all in all, I just told him to find his own aesthetic. Now, for you, if you want to find your own aesthetic, I actually made a video previous to this one talking about how to find your own aesthetic. It'll be linked in the description. Now, the last problem that I solved for Chick is that he was making content blindfolded. He was posting a lot of content, but not actually tracking how his business was either growing or dying via his content. Was he getting more leads? Was he getting qualified leads? Were those leads actually paying for a service? All that information needs to go into your content. For example, if you're getting a lot of unqualified leads, maybe your content needs to be more nurturing or less broad, more narrow, whatever the wording is. So that's exactly what I told him to do. He would check how many people followed him, how many are actually qualified, how many actually responded to the DMs, how many booked calls did he get, and how many of those people paid in full for his program. That way he can start testing what type of content to make, how he should speak in his content, and how he should approach his followers. Now, thankfully for Chick, I am his creative director, so I can help him alongside this. But alone, this would be a lot of work to do. And most likely you don't have a lot of time to do everything that I told Chick to do. So that's where I come in as a creative director. I help you step by step go through everything that I said in this video and more. Or if you just want me to do it for you, plus edit your videos and script your ideas, I also can do that through my agency, Odyssey Media. But if you just want the step by step, somebody to hold your hand, I have a one-on-one consulting offer. If you like the sound of either one of those, go on Instagram and DM me Odyssey and let's chat. But otherwise, that's exactly how I helped Chick revive his 145,000 follower personal brand. And like I said, if you want the automation, DM me automation on Instagram and I'll send that template over. Or if you want to build your own aesthetic, I have a YouTube video right here.